Hi, welcome to English Hamster. Are you learning English? Great. Here we learn through stories. They are simple and interesting. You can improve English while learning knowledge. Remember to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Lily, and I have a big dream. I come from a small town where life is quiet and simple. Everyone knows each other, and people don't travel much, but I always wanted more. I wanted to see the world, meet new people, and most of all, I wanted to learn English. Why English? Because it is a language that people use everywhere. If I can speak English, I can talk to people from many countries. I can make friends, get a good job, and understand movies and songs. So one day, I said to my parents, I want to go to France to study and learn English. My parents looked at me with surprise. My mom's eyes got big and a little worried. She said, Lily, France is so far away, you will be alone there. Are you really sure? I smiled and said, Yes, Mom, I want to do this. I need to do this for my future. My dad was quiet for a moment. Then he said, Lily, we believe in you. Go and learn, make us proud. My mom hugged me tightly. She looked sad, but she kissed my forehead and said, Be careful and call us often. The day I left, my little sister cried. I gave her a soft toy to hold when she missed me. I felt both excited and scared. On the plane, everything felt new and big. It was my first time flying. I looked out the window and saw the clouds. They were like cotton in the sky. A kind woman sat next to me. She smiled and asked, First time flying alone? I nodded. She said, You're very brave, don't worry. If you need help, I'm here. I felt a little better after that. I didn't sleep much on the flight. I kept thinking about my new life. What would France be like? Would I make friends? Would I really learn English? When I arrived in France, everything looked different. The streets were busy, the buildings were tall and beautiful, and the signs were in French. I took a taxi to my apartment. I was so tired when I arrived. I put my bags down and kicked off my shoes, just like at home. Then I heard a voice, You must be Lily. I turned around and saw a girl smiling at me. She had short brown hair and friendly eyes. I'm Emma, she said. I'm your roommate, welcome. I smiled back. Hi, Emma, nice to meet you. She laughed and said, Lily, here we try to keep things clean, okay? I looked at my shoes on the floor and laughed too. Sorry, I'll be more careful. Emma was very kind. She showed me around the apartment and told me where to buy food. She helped me get a bus card and even took me to the supermarket. Thanks to her, I didn't feel alone. I knew that living in France could be expensive, so I decided to look for a part-time job. I needed to pay for food, my studies, and little things like shampoo or bus tickets. After a few days, I found a job in a small cafe not far from my apartment. It was a warm, cozy place with a nice smell of fresh coffee and bread. My job was to clean the tables, bring drinks to customers, and sometimes wash the dishes. At first, I was nervous. I didn't speak much French, and my English was still very basic. But many people at the cafe were friendly and patient. Some customers even tried to talk to me in simple English. One of my favorite customers was a sweet old man named Mr. Pierre. He came to the cafe every morning and always ordered the same thing, a black coffee and a croissant. One day, he looked at me and said, Do you want to speak better English? I nodded quickly. He smiled and said, Then listen carefully to how people talk. That's how you learn the sounds. I thanked him and started doing just that. I listened when people spoke English, even if I didn't understand everything. I paid attention to their pronunciation, the way their mouths moved, and the words they used. Then school started. I was both excited and scared. My English class was full of students from many countries: Brazil, Japan, Turkey, and more. We were all trying to learn English together. Our teacher was a woman named Mrs. Taylor. She was tall, with curly red hair and glasses. From the first day, I liked her. She smiled and said, "Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn." That made me feel better. I was always worried about saying the wrong thing, but she helped me feel safe. Mrs. Taylor taught us many new words and helped us speak them out loud. "Say it with me," she often said. "Practice makes perfect." One day she told us, "Don't wait to be perfect, just speak. Even if it's only simple words, speak every day." That day, I decided to try something new. At lunch, I went to Emma and said, "How is your day?" In English, she smiled. "Good, thanks, and yours?" We started speaking simple English together at home. Emma's English was much better than mine, but she helped me and never laughed when I made a mistake. At night, I sometimes missed my family. I missed my mom's warm food, my dad's silly jokes, and even the sound of my sister's cartoons playing in the living room. But I told myself, "Lily, you came here for a reason. Be strong." In France, breakfast was very different from what I ate at home. People there like to eat croissants, which are soft, flaky breads that melt in your mouth. I had never tasted anything like that before. But the funniest thing was how much people loved Nutella. They put Nutella on bread, pancakes, even bananas. One day, Emma gave me a spoonful and said, "Try it. You'll see why we all love it." She was right. It was sweet and creamy, and I couldn't stop smiling. I said, "This is dangerous. I want more." Since restaurants were expensive, I had to learn how to cook. At first, I didn't even know how to boil pasta, but Emma was very patient. She taught me simple dishes like pasta with tomato sauce and green salads. We cooked together almost every evening, and our small kitchen was full of laughter, music, and sometimes a little smoke from burned toast. I also felt safe in France. That surprised me. Sometimes I came home late, even after midnight, but I never felt scared. The streets were quiet and peaceful. That feeling gave me more freedom to explore the city, walk near the river, or go to the bookstore after class. Emma and I became very close friends. Every night, we would sit on the couch, talk about our classes, and drink tea. She came from England, so her English was great. I told her, "I want to speak English like you one day." She smiled and said, "You will, just keep practicing." At the university, Mrs. Taylor made learning fun. She used games, stories, and pair work to help us speak more. One day, she said something that changed how I felt about learning English. "Children don't worry about being perfect. They listen, repeat, and try. Do the same. Don't wait, just speak." After that, I started watching short English videos with subtitles. I watched clips from cartoons, travel shows, and even cooking channels. I listened carefully to how people said the words, then repeated them quietly to myself. Sometimes I felt silly talking to my phone or to the mirror, but slowly I noticed improvement. I could say more things and understand more of what people were saying. Mrs. Taylor also gave us a fun homework assignment. Every day, choose 5 new English words. Use each one in a sentence. So I chose words like tasty, tired, and happy. I wrote, "This pasta is tasty. I feel tired today. I am happy to be here." It was simple, but it helped. After 1 week, I could use these words without thinking. Reading was also part of our practice. Mrs. Taylor told us, "Start with children's books. They are short and easy." I borrowed a book about a little dog who gets lost in the city. It had pictures and simple sentences. At first, I used my dictionary a lot, but soon I could understand most of the story. I felt proud. Mrs. Taylor always had new ideas to help us learn English. One week, she said, try listening to English music. Songs help you remember words and learn how people really speak. So that weekend, Emma and I listened to songs by Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift. We printed the lyrics and tried to sing along. At first, we were too slow, and sometimes we said the wrong words, but we laughed a lot. Singing helped me feel more relaxed with English. It felt like fun, not homework. Later, we watched the movie Finding Nemo in English. I understood some parts, but not everything. Still, I enjoyed it. After the movie, Emma and I repeated some of the funny lines. Just keep swimming, I said again and again. We both laughed so hard. But life in France wasn't always easy. I had to be careful with money. I only worked part-time at the cafe, and I also had to study. Some days, I felt very tired. One night, I sat alone in the kitchen, staring at my phone. I missed my mom's cooking, her hugs, and her voice telling me, "Lily, you can do anything if you try." I wanted to cry, but instead, I made some tea and called my family. Hearing their voices gave me new strength. Emma was always there for me. She listened when I was sad and said, "We're in this together." Her words helped me feel better. I wasn't alone. At the cafe, I had to speak English with the customers. That was hard at first. I made many small mistakes. Sometimes I forgot words. Sometimes I said things twice. One day I told a customer, "You want coffee?" "Yes, no, yes." He laughed gently and said, "Yes, please, and don't worry, you're doing great." His kind smile made me feel more confident. Each day, I spoke more clearly. I started to say, "Would you like sugar?" "And your coffee is ready," with a smile. My boss noticed and said, "Lily, your English is improving. Keep it up." Mrs. Taylor also gave us more ways to practice speaking. She brought a jar to class full of little paper questions. She said, "This is our English conversation jar. Everyone takes one question and speaks about it." My first question was, "What's your favorite food?" I smiled and said, "I like pasta with cheese and tomato. It is easy and delicious." The class clapped for me. I was a little shy, but also proud. Every time I picked a new question, I felt stronger. English was becoming easier to speak, step by step. One day, Mrs. Taylor surprised us. She said, "Let's celebrate birthdays in class. It's a fun way to practice English." When it was someone's birthday, we brought snacks, sang songs, and gave short speeches. On my birthday, Mrs. Taylor brought a small cake and said, "Happy birthday, dear Lily." Everyone clapped, and I felt like I had a new family here. After my birthday party in class, Mrs. Taylor gave everyone a small writing task. She said, "Write a short birthday wish for Lily in English. It can be funny or sweet, just try your best." I got messages like, "I hope you eat lots of cake," and "You are very nice and brave." One student even drew a little dog wearing a birthday hat. It made me laugh. I kept all the notes in a box under my bed. They made me smile on hard days. The next week, Mrs. Taylor introduced something new, English Culture Day. Each week, we learned about life in English-speaking countries. One time, we had an American Diner Day. Mrs. Taylor decorated the classroom with red and white tablecloths and played old American music. She said, "Today, we will practice how to order food in English." We pretended to be waiters and customers. I said, "Can I have a cheeseburger, please?" And someone answered, "Would you like fries with that?" It was so funny and useful. Another time, we had British tea time. Mrs. Taylor brought real tea and biscuits. We practiced saying things like, "May I have some tea?" and "Thank you, that's lovely." It felt like we were really in England. One day, she brought tongue twisters to class. "These will help your pronunciation," she said. We all tried to say things like, "She sells seashells by the seashore," and "Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers." At first, we sounded so silly, everyone laughed, but with practice, we got better. It really helped me notice the small sounds in English. Mrs. Taylor also started something called Word of the Day. Each day, she wrote a new word on the board. For example, one day it was delightful. She said, "This means something very nice, like, 'This cake is delightful.'" Then we each had to use the word in a sentence. I said, "This music is delightful." It was a fun and easy way to grow our vocabulary. To help us speak more freely, Mrs. Taylor made a game. She called it the English Conversation Jar, just like before, but now with more creative questions like, "If you could visit any country, where would you go?" Or, "What is your dream job?" We picked a paper and had to talk in English for 1 minute. The first time I spoke for a whole minute, I felt so proud. Even if I made mistakes, no one laughed. Everyone listened and clapped. Then one day, she gave us a new project: write a short story in English. She said, "Don't worry about grammar, just use your imagination. This is for fun." I wrote a story about a talking bird who helps lost children find their way home. It was simple, but I loved writing it. When I read it to the class, everyone smiled and clapped. That moment gave me so much confidence. Besides writing and speaking, Mrs. Taylor also helped us with listening skills. She played short English conversations, like people talking in a shop or ordering food in a restaurant. We listened carefully and then answered questions like, "What did the man buy?" or "Where are they going?" At first, I couldn't understand everything, but each week I got better. I could catch more words and guess the meaning from the situation. It felt like my ears were learning English too. One of my favorite listening activities was with English songs. Mrs. Taylor gave us printed lyrics and played songs like "Can't Help Falling in Love" by Elvis Presley. She said, "Listen to the rhythm, try to sing, it will help your pronunciation." I sang softly at first, then louder. The music helped me feel the words. I even started humming the songs while cleaning tables at the cafe. Mrs. Taylor also taught us how people speak in real life. She said, "We don't always use perfect grammar in conversations. We say small phrases like, 'What's up?' or 'No worries.'" I liked learning these casual phrases. They made me feel more like a real English speaker. I started saying things like, "Let's go," and "See you later." To Emma and my classmates. Then she said something that really stayed with me. The best way to get better is to use English outside of class. Find friends, join meetups, talk to people. Real English is everywhere. She even helped organize a language exchange. English learners and French students met every Friday to talk. At first, we were shy. Some people only said 1 or 2 sentences. But week by week, we grew more confident. We talked about food, weekend plans, favorite movies, and even told jokes. It didn't matter if we made mistakes. We were learning together. I also kept practicing at home. Emma and I used English when talking about dinner or sharing funny stories from school. Even at the cafe, I tried to speak English when tourists came in. Little by little, English started to feel normal. I no longer had to stop and think before speaking. I could answer questions, give directions, and even help other classmates when they didn't understand something. One morning, I woke up and realized I had dreamed in English. In my dream, I was back home, talking to my little sister, and we were speaking English. It felt strange, but exciting. That day, I told Emma about it. "You dreamed in English," she said, smiling. "That's a great sign. It means your brain is really learning." I felt proud. I was no longer just studying English, I was living it. As our English class was coming to an end, Mrs. Taylor had one more surprise for us. One morning, she came to class with a big smile and said, "Today's lesson is very special." She gave each of us a funny hat. Some were big, some had feathers, and some looked like animals. Then she said, "Today we will have an English carnival. Everyone will act out a small, silly scene using English." We picked characters from a box. I became a baker who forgot how to bake. In my scene, I said, "Wait, do I use flour or flowers?" Everyone laughed so hard, including me. It was a great way to feel relaxed while speaking English. Later that week, something funny happened at my cafe job. I was helping a tourist and asked, "Would you like some extra crème?" I used the French word crème without thinking. The man looked confused, then smiled. "Ah, you mean cream." We both laughed. It was a small mistake, but a funny one. That moment reminded me that mistakes are okay, they help us grow. A few days later, Mrs. Taylor planned a cooking in English day. We all met in the school kitchen. She said, "We will make scones and sandwiches today. Listen carefully to the instructions." We followed her words step by step. Crack the eggs, mix the flour, add a pinch of salt. Flour was everywhere. One student even used salt instead of sugar, and the scones tasted terrible, but we laughed and ate them anyway. I learned many cooking words that day, and more than that, I made memories. At night, I started writing short letters to my family in English. I wrote things like, "Today I learned the word cheerful," or "I made a new friend in class." My mom wrote back using simple English too. She said, "Lily, we proud of you, you strong girl." Her message made me cry happy tears. I even started dreaming more in English. One night I dreamed I was showing my family around Paris, speaking English the whole time. I woke up smiling. Then came the final day of class. Mrs. Taylor gave each of us a small notebook. She said, "This is your English adventure journal. Write your thoughts, new words, or dreams inside. Keep learning, even after this class ends." She looked at me and said, "Lily, I'm proud of you. Keep speaking, keep writing, and don't stop learning." We all hugged her. Some students cried. It was hard to say goodbye. On my last day in France, I walked through the streets by myself. I thought about everything: my first day here, the cafe, Emma, the English class, and all the lessons I had learned. I wasn't the same girl who had arrived months ago. I had grown. I could speak, listen, and write in English. I had learned more than a language. I had learned confidence, courage, and joy. At the airport, I saw my family waiting. My mom ran to hug me. "Welcome home, Lily," she said. I smiled and replied in English, "Mom, I missed you so much." She didn't understand every word, but she hugged me tighter. That was the end of one journey, and the beginning of many more. So if you're learning English too, remember this. Be brave, make friends, laugh at mistakes, speak from your heart. Every word you learn is a step toward your dream.
Hey, if you learned something new today, please give this video a like. Write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and it really helps to create more English videos for you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.